Good afternoon on Thanksgiving Day. Uh, Happy Gratitude Day if you celebrate. We don't we don't focus on the origin of Thanksgiving so much as creating our own intent for the day. So there's so much truth that is known now that we were never taught in school about Christopher Columbus and how everything happened. That I think Thanksgiving has changed, has kind of morphed, and it's a good thing. It's a good thing to take a day to not have to work. Although these poor guys, if you can hear that pounding, they're building a house on Thanksgiving Day, and they're actually, I'll see if I can show you without. So they're building a house, which is the third house that they've built in the last 6 months that is going to take my view away. So that's just something, I guess I could call that a 3D problem that I am still processing, trying to figure out what to do, because we really love it here. We love our house. We loved our view, and it was a big part of why we bought this house. And now that view is going to be gone. So, I mean, don't people are trying to tell me, oh, well, you can still see. No, I won't hear it. My view is gone. The view that I moved here for is going to be gone. So, and it's not that I'm being stubborn. It's just I don't. There's no reason to try and talk me out of something that's a fact. So the fact is, I will be looking at houses instead of mountains. And I'll admit it, that upsets me, but that's not why I wanted to get on. Sorry, I got distracted because I'm sitting out here thinking, and the mountains are so beautiful right now with the snow and where they're building. That's going to cover up that part of it. I don't know what we're going to do. So, I had told my husband from the beginning, if our view ever goes, then I will want to move. And I think that's still true. We just, right now, we're not in a moving place, and the market is not good for us to do that right now. But anyway, I've been thinking about a lot of different things. And I've been wanting to do a video. I know it's been a while since I did one. Actually, I did that word vomit one, I think was the last one I did. And I was feeling so high, and I was so up, and I felt so high vibe. And then, no kidding, like 2 days later, my whole family was down with this really bad cold. And I mean, like 2 days, maybe into the third day, for all of us, we just were in bed, right? Like we just didn't even want to. I don't think I ate. I mean, it was a cold, but it was a good one. And so, and I think a lot of people are getting this. Is it an Ascension cold? Who knows? So, there are people who say everything we're feeling is part of the Ascension. I tend to believe that. I tend to have that perspective that really everything we're doing right now, anytime you get sick, anytime you stub your toe, it's all a purging. It's all the universe trying to tell you something. Either that you just need to allow and let something go, or that maybe you need to slow down, maybe you need to take better care of yourself, maybe it's time to reduce the stress in your life, and you probably know how to do that. It's probably been on your mind, like I really want to shed this thing, whether it be a job, a person, whether it be moving. You already know what it is. You just need to take that step to do it. And until you do, you will continue to get sick and stub your toes and all that jazz. The universe is very patient. It will just keep sending you messages, and you may get the brick over the head. But you don't necessarily want to wait for that, so try to pay attention. But I was thinking about we're all recovering. We still have this lingering cough and, stuff, just kind of gook, still releasing. But we all feel a lot better, like that stuff. But I was thinking too, that anytime I get physical symptoms, it kind of brings me down emotionally, and that lowers my frequency, which is okay because now I really do believe that for me personally, I've entered this higher frequency zone, and there's no going back. There's no going back to where we were, even 2 months ago, but for sure 6 months ago. When I was breaking through into this new higher frequency, and then there's an adjustment period, and the more you resist, the longer it maybe not necessarily longer. I don't know that I buy into that. I think it's going to take as long as it's supposed to take, but it can be easier or more difficult depending on how you react or respond to it. But 6 months ago I was breaking through, and now I'm there. And even though, the last few days I've just been a little off, not bad, just a little, I noticed that I feel kind of stagnant. I feel kind of confused. I'm not really sure. Like I said, I've not done a video besides being sick. I've not done a video because I just can't seem to lock down a single topic. I would think about something and then immediately my mind would wander, and then I was like, oh, I can't do a video. I'm going to be all over the place. And so I just didn't do one. And so I've been just kind of in this confusion, and I got a strong message this morning when I said, why? I just said, why am I so confused? And of course, immediately and it was my higher self coming in saying, this is just a cloud that's clearing. It's really just, it's in my, the outer part of my auric field, and it's going, but it's kind of obstructing my vision right now. Not just physical vision, but my vision of my purpose. But that's okay. It is clearing, and all I have to do is set the intention to let it go, because I know I'm ready to let it go. It's trying to hang around because there is a part of me that's still working on. I'm still grieving, even though it's funny, isn't it? Like I've gotten glimpses now of how amazing life can be, how happy I can be, how incredible this world is, and all that stuff since I started this journey about 5.5 years ago. And so I know how amazing it can be, and I had never felt that or seen that before in my life, for 40 years anyway. Yet there's still part of me that's having trouble letting go of that old me, which is kind of funny, isn't it? Like I wasn't, and I'm not going to say I was an unhappy person, but I was asleep, and I was, in the ow, it hurts my elbow, and I was in this, the going through the motions and just existing, right? Just doing all the tasks that need to be done in life, and then going to bed and waking up and starting all over, Groundhog Day. And so now that I know that life doesn't have to be like that, it's this incredible feeling, yet I still feel I have a little bit that's tugging at me, that's like, hey, remember how great it was to be plugged into the Matrix? Remember how great it was to be ignorant and oblivious to what the government is really doing to us? Remember how great it was just to not know that all the food you were eating was poisoning you slowly? Remember how great life was back then? And I'm like, there is something to be said for ignorant bliss, right? For just not even, for not being aware, for being asleep, for being plugged in. That's why we let it happen for so long, right? There's a comfort in it. There's a comfort in letting something else control our lives. I'll just say it, right? I guess because there's a reason that we're having, and I feel like I really am, like I've got like 2 or 3 little cords left, and then I will be free of that, and I'm really looking forward to that. And that brings me into the next thing I was thinking about this morning while I was walking. I've already walked today, and I'm sitting outside. It's about 50 It's 50 something. It's chilly, but it's nice. It's just so nice out here. Um, and I was thinking about how, like I said, I've been a little off the last few days, but I got to tell you, my off days, my down days now are so much higher than even my up days were 6 months ago, that if I can just sit in that gratitude, then I can love and embrace exactly where I am. And that's difficult to do. And I was also thinking this morning too, you know what? There are moments, there are days, there are even weeks sometimes where I am off or down, and I cannot bring myself to just bask in that. I can't just be in it and be grateful for it as hard as I try. And I realized today, I'm like, you know what? That's okay. That's okay. That's part of the process, because this is happening regardless. And I know I say that all the time because it's true. This is happening for us. It may seem like it's happening to us and against us, right? It may, because we're being pushed through all these eyes of needles, one after the other, right? Sometimes we don't even get a break in between. But when you get to the point, it's kind of funny, I just had a thought that would explain why I've physically, my whole body has gotten smaller, a lot smaller, because I am fitting through the needles better, easier. That's funny, that just came to me. So even physically, I've gotten to the point now, thank you God, thank you universe, thank you source, that I am getting so adept at soaring through these eyes of the needles, at soaring through the eye of the needle, that my physical body responded by getting smaller. Um, just a little, that's a little Wendy's wanderings. My brain. Max sees something. Oh, there's a dog at the neighbors. We have new neighbors over here, and they don't have a dog to my knowledge. It's their guests, yeah, for Thanksgiving. Max, be nice. It's a new friend. Max. Max. At least, can you make your bark sound like sociable instead of get out of my neighborhood? Max! Okay, I'm going to let that happen. They don't care anyway. Dog people, we get it, right? Yeah. Good job, Max. So anyway, it is okay. Like, that's one thing that was kind of harped on me early on in my journey, was, you have to learn to accept where you're at. You have to stop looking forward and looking, and just trying to get to this next place, this next resting place. And honestly, I think, well, I didn't want to hear it then, but there's a purpose for it, right? There are times where that needs to be said, I guess. It triggers us, it helps us to release things. But really, when you get down to it, it's absolutely okay to not be okay with where you're at, to not feel good about it, to not feel grateful for it, because that's part of this journey, is we're shedding that. That's the stuff coming up that's staring us in the face, that's going, okay, here I am. What are you going to do with me? Are you going to swallow me back down? Or are you going to let me go? And it's time to let it go. And sometimes, they say, oh, well, you don't have to. I had somebody else tell me, it's you are doing this to yourself, which is true. But this person would say, you don't have to. You can release something without having to live through it again, and that is absolutely true. But I think sometimes that's unavoidable. And whatever your experience with that is perfect. It's exactly what you chose, how you chose to do it. And again, if you can't be grateful, like I've been able to in the deepest, darkest minutes, I have forced myself to switch my thinking to, thank you, universe. I am so grateful for this opportunity to grow, blah, blah, blah. But I didn't believe it when I was saying it. But I will admit it did help. But there have been times where I couldn't even do that. And like I said, we have to be okay with that. We have to stop beating ourselves up. We have to stop thinking we're doing something wrong, and what else can I do, and how do I figure this out, and I must be doing this wrong because so-and-so got through this stage a lot easier than I am, and That's all BS. Everybody's journey is different. There are, you know how many different types, and I know I've said this before, how many different ways are there to ascend? Well, how many souls are ascending right now? That's how many different ways there are. So everyone is going to do it a little differently. And yes, we are here to guide. Like I had wonderful, wonderful guides who have gotten me to this point, but, you know, who left the breadcrumbs. But it was up to me to pick them up. It was up to me to pay attention, to see them. There's a lot of parties going on in the neighborhood for Thanksgiving. That's a lot of dogs, I think. What's going on, Max? I don't know. So I lost my train of thought again. But yeah, it's okay to be pissed. I have told Archangel Michael to fuck off more than once. And that's okay too. He just smiles. He's just smiling and shaking his head right now because he gets it. He understands that this is the hardest thing we've ever done. He totally understands that. All of the people here helping us, all of the entities, the spirits, the energies, they understand. They have been through it. Now, they may not remember. They may not really remember what it felt like because honestly, in the past, beings that have ascended have had a much easier time, and I firmly believe that. This is kind of an unprecedented ascension going on, and I've actually heard a new word floating around because I know even some light workers roll their eyes at the word ascension now because it's just everywhere. That and the word and the the word trigger. It's even making mainstream like sitcoms and stuff now. So it's kind of, and which is good, right? It's a good thing, but it kind of then we kind of want a new word. And so I've heard a new word lately that I believe Abraham Hicks has been using, and a couple other people that I follow. Instead of ascension, they're saying upliftment. And that's a nice word. I really still like ascension. I'm not going to be changing my channel name anytime soon. Parenting Through Ascension just feels so good and right to me, and it's mine, and I love it. And so I doubt that I'll ever change that, but upliftment is a wonderful way to say it too, and that's exactly what's happening. But like I said, these guides, or what, like I was saying, I get off tangent. Sorry, word vomit part 2. Excuse me, because I just came off of my walk, and it just like opens everything up for me, and I just have to get all this out. It's like I feel like Sheldon, like if I don't get those 3 knocks in, then something is off the whole day. The whole day will be off. I have to get it all out. But all of our guides who have already gone through this, really for the most part had a much easier time. Ascension was not always super fun, I'm sure, but compared to what we're going through, it was gentle. It was a gentle process, and it was a gradual thing. And so what we're going through right now, which is why we have so much help, it really is one for the books, right? Like people are already writing about it, obviously, but I like to think like in 100 years, what are the books going to say? How are they going to teach, what happened? It's without, making it such a negative thing, because it really has been tough. It really has been really tough. But I gotta tell you, if you're not where I am at yet, you will get here, I promise. I'm so glad that I stuck it out. I'm so glad that I didn't curl up in a ball in the fetal position and just say, nope, I'm done. Check, please. Because now that I am here, and I'm still, we're always going to be processing as long as we're in a corporeal lives, in physical bodies. We're always going to be processing stuff, but it's going to be a like snap of the finger eventually. And I'm not there yet, but compared to what I was doing a year ago, I can't even tell you that the difference is everything is different since then. So Max is just laying at the fence hoping that dog comes back outside. Maybe, bud. Make a new friend. And so that's one of the things I wanted to say was, let it be okay. Thank you, Suli, and I think it was Viomus, right, who gave us that phrase, Suli Yates. Look her up. on Facebook. She does a wonderful Monday's Musings. She does absolutely fabulous programs, but she had said it in one of her videos, channeling, Viomis had said it, channeling through her, let it be okay. Whatever is happening, let it be okay. And that has saved my life so many times. It got me out of the house when I couldn't leave my house and had to. I heard it exactly when I needed to hear it, when I knew I needed to go out for a reason, to, for my health. And I was able to go because I just kept thinking, let it be okay. So let whatever you're feeling just be okay. And you can kind of even get into that, ask for help. I often call in Viomis the collective. I have a Arcturian guide named Lemuel I call on often, and I ask for help, for assistance in being an observer of the energy. Even in my own field, you can kind of detach and just observe what's going on, and that's okay too. You're still going to be going through the upliftment. You're still going to be ascending, I promise. But you don't have to feel so much. And that's the hard part, isn't it? Oh, my goodness, is the feeling so much of it. And we don't have to necessarily, so just ask for help to be an observer, and it really does make a huge difference. And again, always ask for help if you need it. Never think you have to do any of it alone. Even when you become, like I'm in the phase now where I definitely am my own guru. I know I have all these amazing tools. I know how to continue on, but I need help from the people who have already been through this. I still need help daily, sometimes hourly, from my guides, the ones who are not here physically, at the moment in this vibration. And so I may not need help, as much help. Of course, I still enjoy having sessions. I love getting Reiki and all that kind of stuff, but I don't need it nearly as much now. I can get it just to feel, just to kind of for a pampering thing rather than a survival thing, which, I've been there too. And so, but I don't need that as much because we're all going through our own stuff. We're all becoming our own gurus, especially us first wavers. I keep wanting to say first responders, which I guess is true. My oldest is a first responder. He would think that was funny. I'm a first responder too, honey. Mama's a first responder, just not like you are. We're both getting different training for this thing going on, this big galactic thing going on. I'm trying to think of what else. I guess maybe this is probably long enough, and I've babbled long enough, but that was kind of the big thing, is let it be okay. And I know I've said that in previous videos. It's so important to repeat and to just keep remembering, being reminded of, because I forget sometimes too. Even if you can't feel gratitude for where you're at the moment, let it be okay. Let that be okay. You don't have to be in gratitude. You don't have to. It's okay to be pissed. It's okay to be really angry and resentful about what we have to go through to get to our, to get to our soul missions and to the beings we're meant to be in this life. So let it be okay. And again, not mine, Viomis, who is a ascended master, right? Ascended master, I believe, through Souli Yates, Souli Yates. Look her up. She's amazing. And one of my guides at the moment. That right now, at this point, all the other human guides that are kind of going through the same, that are at similar stage that I'm in, really it just are serving for to create community and to provide confirmation for me. And so and believe me, this is a wonderful place to be. Like I said, I don't need the Reiki performed by other people. I don't need all these other services, this other energy work as much for survival anymore. Really what it's doing is, okay, now I can go into a session and with a purpose. Like when it was for survival, I'd be like, I don't know what like they'd say, what's your intention? Set an intention. I just need to not feel like this. I didn't know what else to do. Now I can say, okay, this is exactly what I'm having trouble releasing, this specific thing, this past life, or this, excuse me, this specific issue, and I just need a little help. And then it's just much easier. And so it's just providing confirmation. Like sometimes I trade card readings with other people, and just for fun now. And for me, it'll be, yep, like I'll see all the, I'll get the reading. I go, yeah, that's great. Thank you. That's just confirming what I already know. It feels good to get that validation. And that's okay too. Let that be okay. Like I've always been one in this life to need validation. Now it's just a nice kind of cherry on the cake of the whole thing. It's like, oh, thank you, that's really great, but it's not something that that is vital for my daily survival anymore. So it's a great place to be. If you're not here yet, I promise you, you're heading there. If you are still watching this video, aside from the fact that I'm adorable and you just want to look at my face, then you are probably on this journey, most likely on this journey. Most likely a second waver. I know I have a lot of first wavers who watch because they love me, and we try to support each other, right? We have to support each other, keep each other going, keep this community going, and growing stronger, just the connection becoming stronger and stronger, and that's very important. That's where we're at right now as first wavers. We're finding the community now and strengthening that, now that we've waded through the deepest, darkest shit of our own stuff, and so now we're coming together to really put ourselves out there to help these second wavers waking up. And not just the second wavers. I actually see myself more working with more down the line. And I kind of got this message yesterday, although I don't know if it was ego or what, but because I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm not doing enough. I'm not really doing it yet. Like, I'm doing these videos. I encourage other people. I support my soul siblings in their missions, the ones who are, kind of at the same place that I am at. We're ready to put ourselves out there, but I really am not. Like, they're doing all these amazing things, and it was just yesterday, and I was like, I'm not doing enough. I'm not doing enough, but I don't know what more to do. And instantly came through, and I know is a legitimate message because it was instant, like before my ego could even wake up, right? Instantly I got, and this is the words that came through, so forgive me. Believe me, it's still, I feel almost, it feels like a little bit of vanity, but this is the words that came through is, you're being saved. You're being saved for, and what that meant was, it's not my time quite yet to really break out, because I'm not even, I haven't even received, or, I'm not even clear on what I'm going to be doing yet. And so I literally got the message, you're being saved for, what's coming. And so I have to let that be okay. I have to, take my own advice. So I'm going to let that be okay. And until then, I get to walk. I get to be with my family. I get to do card readings. I'm now Reiki certified. And I am going to be putting myself out there for that. I promise, very soon. Initially, I wasn't going to. I just wanted to do it for myself. But now I realize that it's needed. It's so needed right now. And I really think that, where I'm at especially, that I'm going to be able to help facilitate some healing for people with the Reiki, with the magic of Reiki. So I am going to be putting myself out there for that very soon, people who are in the local area. I am hesitant to do, Kira's gonna roll her eyes. I'm a little hesitant to do distance yet, but I will. Long distance, can do it through Skype, can even do it just by, setting an intent and being still while the session is happening. So it's easy. I don't know why I'm hesitant. I'm not hesitant. I'm going to be putting myself out there for in-person Reiki and long-distance Reiki. Maybe I'll do that today. So I needed to do this video to say that. But I definitely feel like I'm ready to step into the big stuff, right? And I got the message, not yet. Not yet, because what I am doing here, my one of my, I wouldn't say my whole purpose, but there is something big that's coming, and that needs to occur in the world first. And then I will have this very clear kind of picture of my next step. So, and I like that. And it's not just me, I'm sure. I'm sure there are other people who kind of have this. It's like this. I picture that scene. Okay, I'm going to nerd out for a minute. Star Wars. Obi-Wan, young Obi-Wan, Ewan McGregor. Love him. Um, when it's a terrible scene, but it's when Qui-Gon is by Darth Maul. Everybody there with me yet? And Obi-Wan he has to wait for those, because those panels keep closing on him, and then they open, and he's got to wait to get through to get to Darth Maul, and he does this little kind of hopping thing that it's like he just is okay, like he's priming himself, right? Like he just can't wait to get through, and that's exactly how I feel. I always think of that scene because it's just such a perfect. If you don't remember, look it up. It's right when Darth Maul. He kills Qui-Gon, and Obi-Wan is just trying to get through to him, and it's really kind of, it's almost kind of a magical, like it's so intense. It's really like you can feel it, his intensity of just needing to get through to do this thing that he's meant to do, which for him was kill Darth Maul, which, metaphorically, vanquish darkness in a way. So anyway, okay, half an hour. I love you guys if you're still hanging in with me. So parenting through Ascension. If you happened upon this video and you watched the whole thing, God love you. Please subscribe to my channel, Parenting Through Ascension. And I also have a Facebook page where I post little nuggets of tidbits of what's happening in my life, tips on how to manage, how to survive this process as a parent. So follow me in those places and like and share. Please share far and wide. You never know who on your friends list may need to hear the messages that I give. So thank you for watching. I love you all. Wendy Lou signing off. Bye.